Welcome back to the Student at the Game podcast. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It's free of charge. All right. We got NFL playoffs this weekend. We got my Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. That game is actually going on right now. The game is tied at 10-10. Man, the kicker for the Texans, man, he just missed that field goal. I was hoping he was going to make that, but that's okay. That's okay. The game is about to go into halftime. We're going to see what it do, but I'm still riding with the Texans, okay? That's why I'm wearing the hat and the shirt, and that's one of my teams. I have two teams. Y'all know that, Texans and Seahawks. But also, we got the Buccaneers versus the Lions, which I think is going to be a good game. We got the Bills versus the Chiefs. And we also got the Niners versus the Packers, part 12. Okay, I swear, it feels like every time I watch them play in the playoffs, it's like watching the 20th Michael Myers movie, Halloween, all right? But so let's get right into it. So I did a video last week where I straight up said, I don't care to hear who made Taylor Swift's jacket, all right? And everybody took that as hate. Well, that's not hating. Like, if you think that's hating, then you don't know what hating is, all right? Because if I'm watching a football game, I don't want to hear about Taylor Swift's jacket. Taylor Swift is not out there on the field. She's not, all right? That's just like if I was to go to a Taylor Swift concert, I don't want to see football highlights and basketball highlights. That's not what I paid my money for. Okay? So, oh, well, you're watching it on TV. You're not paying money. You're not paying money. Well, I pay my electric bill. Okay? And also, last week's game, I had to pay had to pay for Peacock. You had to have Peacock. Yeah. You had to have Peacock. So not like it's already one thing where as fans we're paying for electricity, or if you're going to a restaurant or a bar, all right, you paying for a drink or some food so that way you can sit down and watch the game, because you can't just go in there sitting there for free and just order water. Well, some people do that, but you're not supposed to do that. But yeah, man, you have to pay Peacock to watch the Dolphins and the Chiefs game. And guess what? None of those teams are my two teams. But hey, I thought it was a good matchup. I want to see a good game. I want to see Mahomes versus Tua Tagovailoa. I want to see the doggone thing. Okay, I'm not there to watch Taylor Swift. Then they showing them doing their version of, I don't know, was that swag surfing? I have no idea what that was. All right, how you gonna surf in the snow? I don't know. But anyways, hey man, don't hate Taylor Swift. I don't know Taylor Swift like that to hate her. Okay? Don't hate her. But I want to see football. But anyways, we got the Chiefs and the Bills. Chiefs, they're going to be traveling. Is Taylor Swift going to be at the game? I don't know. I don't think it matters. Well, maybe it matters to Travis Kelce, okay? But I don't really think it matters. But I think it's going to be a good game. And since we're talking about players that's in the playoffs and their celebrity girlfriends, well, what about who's Josh Allen? Josh Allen is dating. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that he's dating actress Haley Steinfeld, aka Spider Gwen, aka Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. But I would think that's more relevant. Well, if the game is on ABC or ESPN, because Kate Bishop is a character in Marvel, the MCU, Disney Plus, and guess what? They're owned by the same company. All right, with ESPN and ABC, but whatever. But let's talk about that game. All right. If you're Josh Allen, yeah, you got a big time bone to pick when you're going up against Patrick Mahomes, because the last time y'all two played each other, Patrick Mahomes, instead of saying, hey man, good game, bro, and all that, no, he's like, the refs didn't let us play. The refs need to just let him play. Need to just let him play. And if you Josh Allen, it's like this cat acting like, all right, the refs won the game. The refs did not win that game for the Bills. The Bills straight up won that game. And I'm not the biggest Josh Allen fan, but a win is a win and an L is an L. And sometimes you win some, you lose some. But you live. You live to see another day or to fight another day. And in that game, like I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan, but I did not like him in that situation because he's been part of situations where his team, they benefited from a controversial call by the officials. Okay. And he didn't have that same energy. Keep that same energy, dude. Keep that same energy. Like I think every fan base can attest to this, to the point where is that you can, like, every game you can pinpoint where the ref affected the game, where your team won or lost, or they just straight up affected the momentum, and that can happen. Whether if it's a call that should have been made or a call that should not have been made, or whether it's the right or wrong call. And if I'm Josh Allen, it's like, you know what, I'm, I'm, I'm I gotta shut Patrick Mahomes up. I gotta shut this dude up because he thinks that I only beat him because the call, you know, because of the call, and that's not cool. That's not cool. You know, it kind of reminds me. Last week I was watching Troy with not Lil Troy wanna be a baller, but that's one of my favorite songs. Love that beat. Um, it was Troy, you know, where you had Achilles and versus Hector, one of the greatest movie scene battles fights of all time, and Hector had tripped over a rock. All right, now Achilles was already winning the match. You know Achilles was gonna win, but he was winning the match, and he tripped. Hector tripped over the rock, and he said, "Get up, Prince. I'm not gonna let a stone steal my glory." Patrick Mahomes, hey man, you if you're Josh Allen, oh, Patrick Mahomes is trying to make it where the refs steal my glory. No, bro, I beat you. Okay, I beat you because I'm pretty sure when the times where Josh Allen and the Bills teams when they lost to the Chiefs, I'm pretty sure they can say, hey man, yeah, the doggone ref, man, this play here. Wouldn't they called that if they would have made the right call, we probably would have won. But he didn't say that directly to Patrick Mahomes or the other Chiefs players, I don't think. And I think that's mad disrespectful. And doesn't matter how Patrick Mahomes meant it or not. It's like you knew who you was talking to, and you're gonna have to pay for that. So now you're going to Buffalo. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think I think the Buffalo Bills are gonna win this game. That's gonna be the driving force. And also another thing you got to factor in is the fact that Josh Allen. That to me, that's Cam Newton. When I see Josh Allen, that's Cam Newton. And see, so when you have other analysts and so-called NFL's experts, they act like he's nothing like Cam Newton. Well, outside of them being two different people, yeah, he's not Cam Newton. But as far as their style of play, yeah, Cam Newton didn't slide. Does Josh Allen slide? No. Both guys, they trying to run you over. Cam Newton's about 6'5". I'm not sure. I think Josh Allen's like 6'4", 6'5", probably about the same height, same size or whatever. Um, they're both not known for having the most accurate ball, but they have strong arms. They can throw the deep ball, laser laser speed on the passes, and I mean they're trying to truck you. And in the red zone, oh man, watch out. In the red zone, they're damn near unstoppable. You know, they're damn near unstoppable. You hoping that they give the ball to the running back because they're so physically imposing. Now, unfortunately for Cam Newton, due to all of those trucking defenders, injuries, that slowed him down. I believe that shortened his career. And if Josh Allen doesn't modify the way he plays the game, I think it's going to eventually shorten his career. But it's working for him. And NFL careers are supposedly not meant to last very, very long. So if you're in it, hey, you be in it to win it, get you a Super Bowl. But I got the Buffalo Bills taking care of business against the Kansas City Chiefs on this one. All right. What's the score? I don't really care about scores. I'm just winning losses. But what the hell? Since it's in Buffalo, I think we're going to be looking at a 23-17 game. All right, Bills. All right, the next matchup we have the Lions versus the Buccaneers. What's interesting with this match is that if you're the Detroit Lions, you just, number one, shout out to Detroit Lions and whole city of Detroit taking care of y'all business on that curse. 32 years, that is a long time. A very, very long time. I was like 9 years old the last time they won a playoff game. I remember watching that game when they played against the Cowboys. They took care of business. Also, that was a big game for Jared Goff. He got to eliminate his old team, the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, and eliminate them off the playoffs, and go up against the guy who they traded him for, Matthew Stafford. And also for Detroit Lions fans, if I'm not mistaken, I think this story was true. Correct me if I'm wrong. Detroit Lions fans, they were not allowed to wear any throwback or retro, any jerseys with Matthew Stafford on it, even if it was for the Lions. And I'm like, man, that's wild, man. Matthew Stafford was there for what, 12, 13, 14 years? I mean, man, that's wild. But okay. But I understand it. I understand it. You know, it's like, hey, man, it is, hey, know who you rooting for because that was a 1 point ball game. If you had a bunch of fans out there with Matthew Stafford jerseys, they probably been kind of in probably would have been inclined to cheer for the Lions and cheer for Matthew Stafford, which would have could have possibly made a difference. And then that could have been the difference between 1 point loss for the Lions or a 1 point win for the Rams. But but anyways, a reporter asked the Bucks head coach Todd Bowles, hey, what are you and your team doing to prepare for the weather conditions in Detroit? And he allowed the young lady to finish the question, and he says, "Well, we're not really doing anything differently because they play in a dome. They play in a dome. So we're just gonna go out there and prepare like we normally would do because they're in a dome." And it's like, hey, you got to do your research, people. You got to know that. But hey, anyways, but on this game here, part of me is thinking, all right, well, are the Detroit Lions are they treating last week's victory and breaking that curse as if it's the Super Bowl? If it is, are they still high off that? And when the game starts, when they play the Buccaneers, how long is it going to take them to get off of that high? And how many points they're going to be down by? If they're only down by 6 points early in the first half, then okay, I think they're okay. But if they're down by more than 10 points, then I don't see them winning that game. I mean, because Baker Mayfield has been balling, Mike Evans balling. That Buccaneers team, bro, that squad there, man, that's a seasoned squad, man. They just a couple years from winning the Super Bowl. You still got some players from that roster. Is Baker Mayfield Tom Brady? Hell to the no. But guess what? He's very serviceable and he's been balling. Baker's been balling, man. So you got to watch out for that. So, but it's gonna be a real good game. But I really think that the home field advantage is gonna come through for the Lions. So I got the Detroit Lions taking care of business in this matchup. And you got Jared Goff. He's been there, done that. He's won playoff games before. He's been to a Super Bowl. So if he's the leader that I believe that he is for that Detroit Lions team, I think he's going to have everybody ready and prepared. And it's like, listen, awesome, we broke that curse, but there's still some more business we got to take care of. We got to take care of these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right. This game here, I see the Detroit Lions winning by 10. Yeah, I think you're going to be looking at it like a, I think you'll be looking at a 34-24 game here by the Detroit Lions. Next matchup, Packers versus Niners, part 12. All right. Man, like, maybe it was Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that was the reason why the Packers couldn't beat them. But I'm going to tell you something. I think the Packers team, I think they're going to win. I think it's going to be an upset special. Upset special. Um, because I think the 49ers, man, I can't knock them for it. I understand this, but I feel like they carry themselves as if they won a Super Bowl the past 4 or 5 years, and they haven't. And other people in the media speak so highly of them as if they won a Super Bowl. Did they go to the Super Bowl? Yeah, but the last time I checked, they lost to the Chiefs. Got a lot of star players on this team. I saw somebody on Speak for Yourself. Was it Emmanuel Acho? And Joy Taylor, they said, yeah, Brock Purdy's not worried about Jordan Love. Well, he shouldn't be worried about Jordan Love because he doesn't have to defend against him. But why are we giving Brock Purdy that much love right there? Give him some love, but not that much. Come on now. Because we all know if the Niners do lose, whatever failings the Niners have, they're not going to blame Brock Purdy. They're not. Now, whatever success they have, they're going to give them credit. Now, I do believe when you're the quarterback, yeah, you're going to get most of the blame when you lose. You're going to get most of the props when you win. But you got to keep that same energy on both sides of the coin. And they're not doing that. You got a stud at running back, 2 studs at defense. You got a bunch of studs on the defensive line, linebackers, that whole defense. You got studs, all them studs at receiver, tight end, offensive line. And you only giving the credit to that young man? No. And then when they lose, you putting it on the other players? It shouldn't be like that. That's not fair. Now, I had Christian McCaffrey in my fantasy football league, and he helped me win my championship. Thank you, C. Mac. From my understanding, he did get hurt. I'm not sure how severe that injury is. Hopefully the young man's healthy because I want to see both teams healthy as possible with their best on the field, so we could see who's going to win, who's going to win this, and there's no doubt. Now, Christian McCaffrey, he can do it all. He reminds me of Marshall Faulk. The young man can do it all, man. I was a big fan of his dad, Ed McCaffrey, who played for the Broncos. You just throw it up there, Ed to go get it. He wasn't mossing people, but he was McCaffrey and them boys. All right, different thing. But anyways, this Packers team, man, they're young, and in the words of the great motivational speaker Les Brown, and I'm not saying he coined this phrase, but he was the first person who I heard this phrase from. So you got to be young and hungry. Packers are hungry, and they are young. They get Christian Watson back. Man, that's a lot to deal with. Jordan Love has been the best quarterback in the league since like week 11. Dude is in the zone, people. And what you have to factor in, this Niners defense, with Jim Harbaugh and even with Kyle Shanahan as coach, even when Robert Saleh and DeMeco Ryans was coaching as defensive coordinators over there, the teams that give them the most problems are mobile quarterbacks. If you're a stationary quarterback and you're not mobile, they're going to tear you up. But Russell Wilson, look at his record against Harbaugh defenses. All right. Against the 49ers, Russell Wilson is like, when he's playing for Seattle, it's like 20-3. And last year, even though the Broncos played terrible, they beat the Niners. Why? Because they had Russell Wilson. They still had no answer for him, even while he was on the Broncos team. All right. So mobile quarterbacks, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Bills, they beat the Niners this year. Mobile quarterback, Josh Allen. I'm not sure. I can't remember if they played Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. But the Super Bowl, when they lost to the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, mobile quarterback. All right? So mobile quarterbacks give them problems historically. All right? And Jordan Love, he's more than a mobile quarterback. Now, see, check this out. If this was Aaron Rodgers, like 8 or 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, they would have had a better chance of beating the Niners because he was more mobile. But, Jordan Love, he can throw the ball. He got receivers that can, they can run multiple routes. Their route tree is deep, very deep. All right. And the Packers coach, he's familiar with Kyle Shanahan. They're familiar with each other. So I think they'll cancel each other out. But I think this time around, instead of having Aaron Rodgers right there, where you have so much game film on Aaron Rodgers throughout history, and also what you got to factor in when you're a veteran like Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to always listen to a younger head coach. You're going to go with your knowledge. Why? Because you're Aaron freaking Rodgers. But you got Jordan Love, who's being coached up by his young head coach. And there's not a whole lot of film on Jordan Love. There's probably enough film, but not a whole lot. So I really do think that, I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners took this team lightly, because they did beat them last year. And they're probably like, we beat them when they had Aaron Rodgers. This dude not Aaron Rodgers. No, he's not. And that's not saying he's better than him, but it's all about how familiar you are with this guy. All right? And I think Jordan Love, that dude there is young and hungry. Those young bulls on that team, man, they ready to play. They ready to ball. They ready to show the world who they are. Hey, even though Aaron Rodgers is gone, you know what? The pack is still intact. And you know what? The Green Bay Packers, they have a tendency of that where, Brett Favre plays there for many, many years, and you think they're gonna fall off, then Aaron Rodgers step right in, boom, boom, boom. You think they're gonna fall off with Aaron Rodgers, then boom, Jordan Love steps right in. All right, so, but yeah, man, I think this is going to be a good game. I think what's going to happen here is that I think the Niners, I think they're going to underestimate this team. I really do. Because they straight up, I don't think the Niners, they don't respect the Cowboys. So they're probably like, yeah, they supposed to be the Cowboys. We're not the Cowboys, which that's a fact. You're not the Cowboys. But I don't know, man. Something about that Packer squad, man. Those dudes there, they're young and hungry, man. Bunch of young guns out there. And I really do believe, I think that the Niners, I think by the time they take this game super, super serious, I think it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. But a lot of people are writing this Packer team off, and I don't get that. But I got the Green Bay Packers winning this game, man. I got the Packers. Let's see. What's the score I'm looking at, man? I don't think they're going to get 48 points on this team. I got the Packers winning this game. Let's go with a score of 27. Let's go with 27, uh, 27 to 21. Green Bay Packers. All right. So you already know I'm rooting for the Texans. Um, I don't care what the score is for the game, as long as the Texans win, man. So, but I got the Texans winning their game. Let's roll with a score. Defensive minded game here. I'm thinking let's roll with a score of, let's see, 19 to 13. All right. Or 19 to 16. All right.